You know, it's amazing what a nap can do for you. Good evening and welcome to Bedtime Stories, the show designed with the lovers in mind, where we put you to bed but never to sleep with the greatest love songs of all time. It's your peanut butter brother, Dr. Al Greer, officially checking in. Coming up in our last hour, we do a little thing we call foreplay. Four songs by one of your favorite artists or groups, male or female. Coming up in our last hour. If you have one in mind, hey, let me know. I might use yours instead of mine. All right? Cool? Cool. And for those of you who are joining me on Facebook, make sure you share the video, all right? Where it says like, comment, and share. All you have to do is just hit share. All right? Just don't just don't close out when you hit share. All right? Hello to Roberta, who's checking in from Minnesota. Minnesota. Not Minnesota, but Minnesota. I got it. And hello to Ronnie Williams. Thanks for checking into Bedtime Stories, the show designed with the lovers in mind, where we put you to bed but never to sleep. With the greatest love songs of all time, kicking it off with the whispers. All you got to do is say yes. It's Bedtime Stories. Minnesota. Minnesota? Is it snowing where you are? Preston Shanks. Mm-hmm. I, Roberta, I feel you. Of course, you're from here, so you know what's going on. Excuse me. Here in Chicago, you know, the thing is, Mother Nature is bipolar. This is supposed to be spring weather in April. Yeah, we are still experiencing, I guess, beginning of winter weather. Yeah, okay. Maverick Atkins, what's going on, sir? But trust me, I understand. The weather is not what you want it to be. Um, and of course, when it gets hot outside, we will be complaining. It's too hot. Now, we had a mild winter. We had probably one of the mildest winters I've ever seen, where we didn't get a whole bunch of, a whole truckload of snow. So I can't complain. You know, it would snow and then, and then the snow would go away. You know, it would get warm and then it would snow again and then the temperature would drop and then we'd have just a little ice. But it wasn't like, where you saw snow blowers going all up and down the street. None of that stuff. So it was a pretty fair winter. But in some places it's still snowing. So what's going on, Mr. Maverick, sir? So let's talk about some folks didn't have their someone didn't have their old folks nap. I did. I was Ronnie, I was knocked out. I was supposed to have company at 7 o'clock, right? So I laid down. I said, okay, 7 o'clock, 7:30, you know, almost 8 o'clock. Then company comes. It's I play for two churches, play drums for two churches. It's the bishop from the first church coming to pay me my money from Sunday. Well, I was knocked out, but considering he was bringing money, I was bright-eyed and bushy-tailed, you know. Or as my man Dean says, I was blue-eyed and blonde hair and blue-eyed. So, but yeah, I ran down the steps to get my money, boy. Hey, Mr. Postman. So, yep, he brought me some money. So you think I wasn't gonna get out of the bed for that or off the couch for that? Yeah. Yep. And I was watching another 48 Hours with Nick Nolte and Eddie Murphy. Actually, it was watching me. Troy said, I heard 6 black Republicans on Earth are boycotting St. Ides because it's sponsoring bedtime stories and its transgender host. How was your weekend, Troy? You had all weekend to think of some corny stuff like that. I tell you, you're funny. I'm back. Should I be wide awake for that? Oh, trust me. Trust and believe. I got up to get my money. Oh yeah. He texted me. He didn't call. He didn't ring the bell. He didn't even get out of the car until I walked downstairs. And that brother's from Inglewood. I said, "Yep, I'm coming to get my money, sir. Yes, here I come, spinning down the 20 steps." So we's all good. So yep, I was ready like Freddie to rock real steady. Did you get? Yep, right here, right there, right there. Can you see it? Ladies and gentlemen, coming to the stage to entertain you, Mr. Rob Willis. I sure did. In fact, that was the only mail I had in my mailbox. No money or nothing. That's okay. The money came from the bishop. The bishop. What's going on, Red? I'll probably work on that before I go to bed. Because if I don't, no, if if I do, then I'll have enough time to sleep. Because what happens is, if I go to bed too early, I tend to be up at 3, 4 in the morning before it's time for me to get up, which I'm not too fond of. So yeah, yep, everything's okay. We's all good in the hood. That's Inglewood. So I'm good. My brother from another mother, Rob Willis. Brother Rob. Yep, we're good. Mhm. Sangberry. Barry White, the Love Unlimited Orchestra, and Love Unlimited. And I found someone right here on Bedtime Stories, the show designed with the lovers in mind, where we put you to bed but never to sleep with the greatest love songs of all time. It's your peanut butter brother, Dr. Al Greer. Hello to Red, also to Ronnie, to Roberta, who is, I guess they got snowed in over in Minnesota. I tell you, they're getting worse weather than we're getting. By this time I should be, wearing maybe a jacket to leave the house, not still wearing my full leather coat with lining and everything else. I shouldn't have to do that, right? But like I always say, if you don't like Chicago weather, just wait. It'll change. Sometimes it changes right in the middle of the day or something like that. Anyway, here's Angela Winbush. I've learned to respect the power of love. DJ Carl Dobbins. What's shaking? DJ Carl Dobbins. How is work, DJ Carl Dobbins? Working hard or hardly working? Which one is it, sir? Saw them numbers, sir. Yes. Now, usually those numbers, where are they? Oh, they're around here somewhere. Usually the high numbers apply to our Sunday night or Sunday lineup. But you're out of town, sir. All right. Bring me an out of town keychain. Love those keychains. Love those chicken heads too. Ah, so up and down. I know, right? I couldn't believe it when I saw it. I'm like, whose station is this? I'm like, good grief. Whose numbers do these belong to? I'm like, whoa. Yes, sir. The power of a love. I'm like, where did these numbers come from? Oh my goodness. One week we're down and next week we're way up. I'm like, okay. But I ain't complaining, trust me. I am not complaining at all. Just like who's sitting in at Geno's. I know, right? Yep, that'd be me. My phone is doing a thing. You know, it's interesting at Geno's. It feels like I'm playing the same songs. I try to switch up, but if I play something, that they're not familiar with, then they won't dance, even though it's a stepper song. Now, it's a different story, when other people play different steppers music that they're not familiar with, they'll sit there and dance anyway. They're like, oh, okay. My peeps in Green Bay. Green Bay. What's up? What's up? GB, are you with me? Speaking of which, Green Bay, we have a large following in Wisconsin. What a coincidence. What a coincidence. We have a large following in Wisconsin. I looked at the numbers. I'm like, we got more people listening to us in Wisconsin than we do in like Cal City or Dalton or Dixmoor or Flossmoor or Flossless. I was like, okay, okay. I was like, check that out. As they say on that '70s show, what's up, Wisconsin? Let me get these numbers. No, it's not what you think. I got the glaucoma. Where is that? Hold on. Got the glaucoma. Milwaukee, Wisconsin, 12. Chicago, 51. Unknown city in United States, 18. Unknown city. I don't know. Brandon, Florida. Uh, Poughkeepsie, New York. Rochester, come here. Rochester, New York. Martin, Tennessee. Well, I know who's listening to me in Martin, Tennessee. That's cousin Melvin Jones. I know who that is. South Holland, Oak Lawn, Mantino, El Cerrito, California, Des Arc, Missouri, Pearland, Texas, Poughkeepsie. That's what's up. Marilyn McCoo and Billy Davis Jr. I hope we get to love in time. Because I got to make you mine. If I should lose you, I couldn't stand the pain. That's probably the most soulful song they ever did. I wasn't too much of a fan of the song "You Don't Have to Be a Star." It was too popish to me, you know. Anyway, let's go over some of these numbers here quickly. Um, Places that I didn't know were even listening to us. Milwaukee, Wisconsin, of course. Well, not of course, but I'm surprised. Brandon, Florida. Mantino, Illinois. El Cerrito, California. Des Arc, Missouri. Pearland, Texas. Martin, Tennessee. Big ups to everybody over in Martin, Tennessee, which is probably close to Memphis, right? Rochester, New York, and Poughkeepsie. I got it. New York. Thank you so much, guys. The numbers were way up from last week. I'm like, wow. Whatever we did last week, let's do it again. Anyway, soon I hope to have this lady on my show, if I could find her number. That's a shame. I had it, but I lost it. But it's got to be in this room somewhere. Her name is Paulette McWilliams. If that name doesn't sound like a household name to you, she was the original lead singer of the group Rufus. Yep, the same one with Shaka Khan. Well, she was the original lead singer of that group. And she's singing, she has done like, you name it, she sang on it. She sang behind Luther. She sang behind, behind everybody. And she sang on this particular song by Quincy Jones, the album Mellow Madness. This is the track from the same name, featuring Paulette McWilliams. Ooh, feeling so good. Mm, mellow, mellow, mellow. Baby, what you do? I know, right? Bring some of these acts to the shy. Yep. Actually, Paulette McWilliams is from here. She's from Chicago. Um, she just left Chicago to become a session singer. Um, I mean, she sang behind everybody. You know, you name it. Luther, Diana Ross. Yeah, the list goes on and on. And she just happened to call the radio station the other day as I was about to get off the board. And, you know, she said who she was and everything else. And she tried to, you know, I guess she tried to run down some of her, you know, some of her resume. And I'm like, ma'am, I know exactly who you are. You don't have to give me your resume. I know, you know, you are that lady. Now, if I can only find her number, I'm sure it'll pop up. It's in this room somewhere. I'll be here, DJ Carl Dobbins. Des Arc. Don't know where that is, but okay. Hurricane Electric. I like that. We also have people listening to us in Germany, China, and Canada. I'm sure Troy does not believe any of this, but it's right here on this report. United States, Germany, China, and Canada. What say you, Troy? I'm sure he has a I'm sure he has a snappy comeback for that. Yep. I'm sure he has a snappy one for that. Weekly analytics report. There it is right there. So there, waiting for the joke, Troy. Trying to conjure something up. You know, like I took numbers from V103 or something. Yeah. Yeah, those are actually Keith Sweat's numbers. Yeah. Yeah. And of course, he's live. You know that he's live every night. Wonder if he's ever missed voice tracking. What would they do then? So someone got on the air the other day. Not gonna say who it is because you all already think that I'm hating on the man. Someone got on the air the other day and said that Tom Joyner had died. Tom Joyner. Well, fortunately or unfortunately, fortunately, it wasn't our Tom Joyner that we know. The fly jock did not die. Okay. So, yeah, someone said that he died. Someone said it on the air. Now, my thing is, and I was taught this by a very smart man, never give out any erroneous information on the air unless you have checked, double checked, and triple checked it. Quincy Jones, two in a row. The Fabulous Heaven, and of course, Madness, right here on Bedtime Stories with your peanut butter brother, Dr. Al Greer. And at the risk of busting somebody out, I'm not even going to mention their name, but I will say this. Someone, somewhere, got on the air the other day. Of course, not at my radio station because we would have had the scoop first. They mentioned on the air that Tom Joyner had died. Someone sent me the text message. They said, so and so just announced that Tom Joyner died. Well, I did my fact checking before I even put it out there. Like DJ Carl Dobbins said, don't anybody know that we would know first. We would. Trust me. All I have to do is make a phone call. There was a Tom Joyner who did die, but the Tom Joyner that we know is not dead. No, he's very much alive, very much alive. The Tom Joyner they were talking about he worked on movies, so it was not. Greg Dorsey, what's going on, Chef? So it was not our Tom Joyner. It was their Tom Joyner. Okay, it was not Thomas Elliott Joyner. Now, I was always taught that you do not give any information out on the air that is not true, because you can get in a lot of trouble for doing that. People are listening. They listen to your every word when you're on the radio. So, ladies and gentlemen, whomever that person was, I'm telling you, I'm not going to get on you or anything else, but I'm telling you to fact check your information first. That was taught to me by Richard Peggy because he heard me on the air one morning giving out some not so factful information, if that's a word, factful. As a matter of fact, he got on me. He said, "Don't ever do that again." I mean, I was getting reprimanded. You know, it was not. It was the song Poinciana, and I said the Pershing Room instead of the Pershing House or whichever it was. He said, "Fact check it first." I said the Pershing Room on Cottage Grove, where it was the Pershing House. That was the name of the place. And it was on Cottage Grove, but you have to double check and triple check. A lot of places would not announce a lot of those channels back in the day when Michael Jackson passed. They double checked and triple checked before they even put it out, even though TMZ got it right on. I know, right? So, yeah, I guess you could say that was fake news. Don't ever, ever say that. Mm-mm. But once again, people, I am not going to divulge the identity of that particular person on the radio. Just not, not, you know. Because then you all say, "Oh, he's hating," and "Oh, he's ragging on him again." And, nope. And people do themselves in. I don't have to say or do anything. I just don't. Because I got this text message saying that Tom Joyner had died. What did I do? Made a phone call. Hello? Oh, okay. I'll talk to you later. Just wanted to make sure you were still, answering your phone, Doc. Uncle happening. Don't say any names or point elbows. you know. But the thing is, I know people, you know, and my first mind was to call Rick Party. I said, no, I'm going to wait. And of course, I went to Facebook and everything else. I didn't see anything. And then I went to, I get this news service app, or have this news service app on my phone. And it did mention a Tom Joyner dying. But the Tom Joyner that it mentioned, um, he worked on movies. He was like a grip or a sound man or a director or something in a movie for movies. It's not who we think it is because, for years we've listened to him on the radio. So, up until a few years ago when he retired, which I still don't believe. Excuse me. And his show was taken over by Ricky Smiley. Well, um, he is still the executive producer of that show. So it's through his company, which is Reach Media, that we have Ricky Smiley and other shows that come out of Reach Media. So, but it was not our Tom Joyner. Okay, all right. So whenever you want to find something out, just call me. I'll let you know. But I was like, no. I mean, he and a few other people, they're getting up in age. You know, the only thing Mr. Joyner has is bunions. you know, I mean, he's married to a lady who does fitness. He could live to be about 100. You know, she'll keep his ass alive. Trust me. Trust and believe. The only thing the man has is bunions. Okay, that much I know. It's been a while since we gave thanks to the Blues Brothers for creating so many careers. Ray Charles, Aretha Franklin, Cab Calloway, John Lee Hooker, James Brown. Nobody knew any of these people before that movie. How long did it take you to come up with that, Troy? They've been divorced long ago. Yeah, but I mean, I understand all of that. Yeah, they were divorced. Okay. But that doesn't stop you from being physically fit. It's like, okay, everything my wife taught me, I'm going to throw out of the window and stop doing it, right? No. She was a fitness expert. Why wouldn't he continue to follow that regime? Okay. I'm just saying. Terry from Gary. Hey, girl. What's going on? But no. Mm-mm. I forgot her name too. But he's not physically fit at all. Once again, he's up in age. Tom has to be like, oh, this number keeps sticking in my head that he's 71. You know, and that's got to be true. Look it up if in case I'm wrong, because Bobby OJ was 68 when he passed. Yeah. Okay. Thank you, son. Got to keep you knowing that I appreciate. I thank you, son. I thank you. And as a matter of fact, I'm glad you're on my live because uh, Dad needs a radio for his Toyota Solera because I'm not feeling this 6 disc player. you know, and I don't listen to the radio, so I want to because he has these nice radios in his cars. I'm like, these radios. Yeah, the lucky car I got, yeah, for $1. Now I'm about to spend what, $200-300 for a radio. You know, hopefully not, but I need a radio for my car and somebody to put it in. The guy who used to put my radios in, him gone. So, I mean, back in the day, I can get a $50 radio from the junkyard. But you had these nice radios, man. It's like in the red car and the big car and all of that stuff. Okay. Flea market on 51st and Pulaski. Dun, 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 dun. Marvin Gaye's right hand man, Leon Ware, Rocking You Eternally. He also sang on the song Mellow Madness, which features a young Minnie Riperton as well. It's your peanut butter brother, Dr. Al Greer. This is Bedtime Stories, the show designed with the lovers in mind, where we put you to bed but never to sleep with the greatest love songs of all time. Whenever you're ready to pay, get it and let me know, and I'll take you. Hey, how about this weekend? How about, yeah, okay. How about that? I got everything else. Check Facebook Marketplace where I can send you links sometime. Okay, that's cool too. I just need, an up to date radio in my car. That's all. Now, the van, not so much. That radio is practically brand new. It's newer than the van is, right? Okay. Call me when you're ready. Oh, I certainly will. Those are some nice radios. How much? I just want to know how much you paid for them radios because those are some pretty sharp ass radios. Like, I'm like, wait a minute, this is not the one that was in the other car, is it? Go on with your bad self. Okay, but I'll let you know. It'll probably be this weekend. Hopefully, it'll be warm and I can open my sunroof and play my new radio in my car. It's Walter Jackson, a song written by Eugene Record, formerly of the Shallites. This is Tell Me Where It Hurts. Oh, they install it. Oh, okay. Shoo. Truck was 200, Buick was 175, Impala was 250. Oh. Guess they don't have any cheaper ones, huh? But I can imagine how much they cost in the store. But I ain't 175. Yeah, I might be able to swing that. But get one from the loan place and take it there. Okay, cool. That'll work. That'll work. So for those of you who follow CNN, uh, what's going on? My Negro, I like that. What's going on, bro? Ham? Darius knows everybody. I'm sure he knows where I can get a car radio for cheap. Because all of them had the touch screens today. It's not like the old time ones, where just the AM radio goes all the way up to 16. I'm like, dang. Swaparama, dude. I know that's right. Yeah, let's talk about Don Lemon. He got dropped on CNN. David Allen Greer got fired too. What was he doing to get fired? All these people getting fired. Now, what was his name? Tucker, whatever his name was. You know, the guy on Fox, Tucker, whatever his name was. Now he's talking about running for president. I'm like, really? Okay. Tucker Carlson. So they both get fired in the same day. Tucker Carlson gets fired from Fox, and Don Lemon gets fired from CNN. Well, I look at it this way: there's a position open at Fox that he could take, and Tucker can go over to CNN. They can just switch. They say that Don Lemon is hard to work with, difficult to work with. I'm like, okay, I could, and I could kind of see that, you know, although he speaks the truth, he comes across as being you know, a smart ass. Look at him. You know, he's a very good looking black man who just happens to be, you know, yeah. So, I'm trying to think of what he said on the air that was so, so bad where they had to fire him after he got off the air. Normally they fire people on Friday when you're in the business. So you have a whole weekend off. They fire you like Friday or something like that. Friday when you get off. Who gets fired on a Monday? Smokey? How you get fired after your day off? Smokey? Smokey. You know, Don is good he's good at what he does. Him and Anderson Cooper. I mean, they two of a kind. You might say they're different as black and white. No, they're the same. They're interchangeable parts like Legos. What you said? No, that's Craig. Craig, how you get fired on your day off? Mm-mm. Don went to work and and he found out that he was getting fired or that he had gotten fired through his manager. I guess he had gone all the way home and found out that he didn't have a job to go to in the morning. Well, cool. He don't have to get up at 3 o'clock in the morning no more, at least for a while, until Fox finds something for him to do over there. Because I do believe we shall overcome. I mean, look at Chris Cuomo. Chris Cuomo got dropped from CNN. And where'd he end up? News Nation, which I still haven't been able to find. It's like News Nation is part of Channel 9 or WGN or Tribune Broadcasting or Nexstar, whatever they call themselves these days. So he's over there. Chris Cuomo. So, they usually, what'd you say, bro? I wasn't surprised. He is what he is. Not Chris. Chris is straight. We know he's straight. But did we expect that? No. It was like several things that what was his name? The one that thought his stuff didn't stink either. White guy. Anyway, it'll come to me. And they ended up getting rid of him. So I know, right? Where is News Nation? Is it channel 9.9.9? Because I know channel 9.1 is, channel 9. Channel 9.2 is Antenna TV. Is there a channel 9.3? Maybe that's News Nation. I'm just saying. But Bill O'Reilly, that's the one. Bill O'Reilly was there for a while, and he's pretty much said what he wanted to say. He's like, hey, I'm a white guy. People are going to listen to me. you know But Don Lemon was not a big fan of Donald Trump. So you know, I, I'm sure that had a lot to do with his demise as well. But we'll see where he ends up. Mm, he was part of a group that was the Memphis part to their Detroit part. In Memphis, of course, you had Booker T and the MGs, probably one of the greatest hit making machines of all time. That was in Memphis. In Detroit, you had the Funk Brothers. So they were going neck and neck, boy. It was like, okay, it was like kind of like Star Search, in this corner, you know, weighing in at it was like six of the Funk Brothers, interchangeable. But they never changed anybody in Booker T and the MGs. It was always Booker T on piano or organ, Donald Duck Dunn on bass, Steve Cropper on guitar, and of course, one of the baddest drummers ever, the human metronome is what they call him, Al Jackson Jr., who played on all of Al Green's songs and even co-wrote a couple of them too. But who knew that Booker T could sing, right? That is treasure chest right here on Bedtime Stories with your peanut butter brother, Dr. Al Greer, sponsored by our good friends over at at Grubhub. Mm, 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 mm. Grubhub is a proud sponsor of Bedtime Stories here on WOSD Radio DB Chicago, WDLB in Chicago, and if that weren't enough, WRLNradio.com for today's R&B hits and throwbacks. It is your peanut butter brother, Dr. Al Greer. This is Bedtime Stories, the show designed with the lovers in mind, where we put you to bed but never to sleep with with the greatest love songs of all time. DJ Carl Dobbins just asked about our comedian, our resident comedian, which is Troy. I think Troy is writing some new jokes right there. Darius Lawrence, my brother from another mother, thank you so much for being on my Facebook Live. And for those of you who are on my Facebook Live right now, make sure where it says like, comment, and share that you hit share. All right? I appreciate you. Thank you so much. We're talking about the firing of Don Lemon over at CNN. Um, my brother Darius said it was no surprise to him, and they said he's difficult to get along with, but he's a damn good broadcaster. I've watched him when I was still working nights at VON. I used to watch him and Chris Cuomo back to back, and they had great shows as far as I was concerned. But when you're black, you have to watch what you say. Freedom of speech. Just watch what you say, is what Ice Cube said. So you can say whatever you want. Sometimes your boss will back you up, and other times your boss will go out the back door and hang you out to dry. Closer than most. Atlantic Star. Don Lemon is going to Fox and Tucker Carlson is going to CNN. You got that right. I do believe that. I do believe that. That I mean, and I think over at Fox, Don will probably be able to, continue saying whatever he wants to say. Why? Because he's a non-threatening black man. He's a non-threatening black man. He's good looking for his age, that whole thing. So I think that that makes sense. Tucker Carlson is going to CNN and Don Lemon is going to Fox. Tucker. Tucker is his first name. He's got two last names for a name. Tucker Carlson. But we'll see what happens. We'll see what transpires from that. But you say like Billy Bob. I know, right? Mm-mm. But it is interesting. How do you get fired on a Monday? You go into work, do your show, and then only to be let go. And the bosses didn't even do it. They let you go home and hey, have a good night and all of that stuff. And well, not a good night, but have a good day, and we'll see you tomorrow at work. No, we won't. You be yeah. So these companies do what they want to do. You're absolutely right. They do what they want to do, and Don Lemon got fired because he lied about being related to former Tigers center fielder Chet Lemon. Both of those guys were walking a thin line with prior warnings. Yeah, that's true. I know. Here's Troy. I know, right? But it's interesting that you get fired after you get off the air. Now, you get fired off the air. I mean, I've seen it happen before. I have seen it happen. Um, Unfortunately, a few years ago, it happened to a gentleman who had the highest ratings that GCI ever had. Who was that? That was Rick Party. Rick got fired right after he got married. He got fired. And the thing was, everyone knew that he had already been fired. The only person that didn't know was Rick. Rick had no idea that he had been fired. He went to work. He did his show. You know, he got a phone call from a coworker. And the coworker called and asked him, was he okay? He's like, yeah, I'm fine. What are you talking about? I'm great. How are you? So he had not learned of his fate yet. And he was still on the air doing his show. You know, I don't know why I was up at the station, but I was there that day. And he got a call. He's like, man, you okay, man? He's like, yeah, why? Is it something I should know about? And that was it. That's what he should have known. But I think had he known before he went on the air, he would have freaked out and not did his show at all. So I think that's what that was all about, because there is there's nothing more irritating than to get a call from your boss when you're on the air and you're doing radio and he just start, going in on you. I had a boss who was like that. He would call them right in the middle of their show and chastise them for what they said on the air. He was how can I put it? Micromanager. My thing is, you hired me as the program director, so let me do my job. I will deal with him or her when they get off the air. I'm not going to chastise them while they're on the air, because after you do that, then they probably won't say anything afterwards, leaving us just playing music. So, when I was a program director, I saved many a job. When it came down to me getting fired, oh, they hung me out to dry. They threw me under the bus. And the general manager was driving it. And that was it. But I saved many a job. Trust me. Atlantic Star, all in the name of love, right here on Bedtime Stories. Which kind of describes our music, right? All in the name of love. It's your peanut butter brother, Dr. Al Greer. This is Bedtime Stories, the show designed with the lovers in mind, where we put you to bed, but never to sleep, with the greatest love songs of all time. We were talking about the firings of both Don Lemon and what is his name? Tyler, whatever his name is. Yeah. Taylor, Hunter, whatever. Yeah, that guy. Uh, Carlson. My thing is like, okay, you go to work and your bosses say, oh, okay, I'll see you tomorrow, right? Knowing that they're about to fire you. They just let you walk out the building. So, in other words, he got all the way home only to find out he didn't have a job to go to in the morning. That is not funny. That is not funny at all. I'm making light of it, but it's like, he said he was devastated. I'm like, I could imagine, you know. But the show that they had put him on, which he had been hosting or co-hosting for the past 6 months, he and the young lady weren't, they had no chemistry whatsoever. He talked, she talked, he talked, she talked, and that was it. There was no interaction between the two of them that I saw. And I'm not a morning person, but I get up just to watch Don Lemon because he can be funny at times. It's your peanut butter brother, Dr. Al Greer. This is Bedtime Stories with Angela Winbush. This is Angel. Hello to all the guys and gals who showed up at Gino's last night. Angel, oh yeah. Excuse me while I get some libations and blow my nose on the air. Yes. I'm back. Angel. Angel, my dignity. So I was told by one of my coworkers not to drive my van back to work. Don't drive. Don't drive that van. You have an image to uphold. Stop driving that van. I'm like, what's wrong with my van? Both doors, the driver's side and the side door, being held together by bungee cords. The van looks like it's been in a fire, which it has been. So I was told don't drive it anymore unless I had a gig where it required me to have equipment. I was like, okay. Personally, I'm without ego. And a lot of people don't believe that because they know me from back in the day. I had, as a matter of fact, on Sunday, I had a minister to whisper in my ear, "What's up, Risque?" I'm like, "Oh, see, now I don't do that no more, man. That's my past. But what's up?" I forgot his dancing name, but he's a bishop now. I'm like, "Oh, okay." You know, I mean, God works in mysterious ways. People, go from being, you know, from this to that, go from being a player to a prayer. You know, I'm just saying, I mean, it could happen to anyone. It could happen to anyone. You know, my thing is you have to, know what your limit is. You have to know what your limit is. Some people hit rock bottom, and others like, wait a minute, I know what my limit is. You know, whether it's whatever you do, whatever your vice is. Some people are addicted to cigarette smoke. Some people are addicted to alcohol. Some people are addicted to sex. Um, my thing is, I've never heard anyone having sex. I've never heard anyone. Yeah. The only person I've heard doing drugs was myself. Um, and that's it. But, everybody has a limit. It's like, oh, that's it. I've hit rock bottom. Everybody has a limit as to, you know, when to stop, when to quit, when to walk away. You got to know when to hold them, know when to fold them, know when to walk away when the dealing is done. You got to count your money. That's right. You got to know when to hold 'em, know when to fold 'em, know when to walk away when the day is done. And you know, a lot of people, they don't know when to walk away until some of them are actually carried away. You know, and that's just it. You know, you have to know when it's time to say, okay, I've had enough. Falling. Rick James and Teardrops right here on Bedtime Stories. The show designed with the lovers in mind, where we put you to bed but never to sleep with the greatest love songs of all time. It is your peanut butter brother, Dr. Al Greer. I got the nicest cursing out today from Darlene Hill. That was the nicest cursing out I've ever had. She didn't use any curse words, but I felt like I was getting cursed out. You know, a 40-year veteran of this business. You know, I was told, you know, in so many words, it was unprofessional. Like, yeah, I know. I have my moments, you know, and I admit when I'm wrong, you know. But that time it wasn't my fault. I guess it's my fault because I was sitting behind the board, so therefore it made it my fault. But you know, people change the settings on the board to suit themselves, and then you know, makes me look like I'm crazy. You know, look at the old man on the board. What's really going on? You know, I'm used to it now. It's like people call me old. I'm like, really? Hmm. When did 62 become old? I guess different standards. I guess for young people, they think you know anything over 40 is old. Well, some of us are ancient, right? Here's Stevie. Mm-hmm. 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 Greg Beasley, the best. Symphonies by Bach or Brahms. Look at the stuff. You look me riding in a rocket and gave me a star. Miss Hill, good evening. Do-do-do. Do-do-do. It go. Cold as ice. Lady G, what's going on? And the record, gave me a star. You took me running in the record. Got me back down to this cold, cold world. You took me running. Got my black ass back down to this cold. Mm-mm-mm-mm. Mm-mm-mm-mm. Why would I do that to a dog, baby? Oh, yeah. Lady G, Rocket Love. Oh, they don't want me to sing, please. I see us in the park. And your name's in my head. I don't want to bore you. Forget what they're saying. Get it in. Get it in. Everybody has a singing moment when they feel the music. Oh, but I love you. I love you. I love you. More and more. Just passing through. Hope all is well. Hope all is well with you too, Lady G. Lady G Wiz. Something about your love. Mm-mm. Mm-mm. But it up. Change keys. Mm-mm-mm-mm-mm-mm. Mm-mm-mm-mm-mm. Some people say that Stevie's songs are hard to sing because of the key that he puts them in. And I tend to agree because I've heard other people sing that song and they quite don't get it like Stevie gets it. That's just me. It's hard to do a Stevie song. You'll never hear anybody do Sir Duke. You just won't. It's your peanut butter brother, Dr. Al Greer. This is Bedtime Stories. Hello to Lady G, also to Miss Hill, and everybody else who's on my Facebook Live. I appreciate you guys. Don't forget to share because sharing is caring, all right? So where it says share, comment, like, yeah, just hit share, all right? I appreciate you guys, all right? Cool. It's Howard Hewitt with the group Shalimar. This is I'm for real. For real, for real. It's peanut butter brother, Dr. Al Greer. I'm so real, pinch me. Mm-mm-mm. 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 Um, boom, boom, boom. Mm-mm-mm. If you're a real singer, it's not so hard to do. I hear you. You have to have a really good ear to do Stevie songs. Into your eyes and say, I love you, girl. I'm for real. Good night, Lady G. For the rest of my life. I'm forever. It's very serious. I won't play games with your tender heart. with your tender heart. Mm-mm-mm-mm-mm. To me, it's very serious. Mm-mm-mm. Mm-mm-mm-mm-mm. Slick Vic, Slick Vic. Blue lights in the basement, Vic. That's him. What's going on, Vic? Heaven sent. I couldn't think of my man. I couldn't think of a foreplay artist. So one just popped into my mind. I usually go through, A, B, C, D, E, F, and I got stuck on the A's. So I guess it's going to be Atlantic Star. So they did the same thing. They went down the the list of record companies, and the first one on the list, of course, was A&M. So they signed with A&M, and they stayed there for almost a decade, I guess, or more, and that was it. A&M, that was the first one. A&M, Alpert and Moss. Yeah. Atlantic Star. Mm-hmm. Heaven sent. Shoot, time is flying by tonight for a change. And notice no sandwich tonight. No, I'm not eating anything. I ate earlier. That's what knocked me out for my old man nap. Unfortunately, of course, I was awakened by the preacher without being confused with Midnight Star. I know, right? Yeah. Mm-mm-mm. Mm-mm, mm-mm. Two great groups. Can't go wrong with either. That is true. But I think Midnight Star is known more for their up tempo dance tunes than Atlantic Star. Atlantic Star only had, I don't circles. I guess you could dance to that. Circles go round and but the other songs, they're all ballads. All in the name of love. Let's get closer. Closer, baby. Stanley Clark, Howard Hewitt, Heaven Sent You, right here on Bedtime Stories. The show designed with the lovers in mind, where we put you to bed, but never to sleep with the greatest love songs of all time. Stanley, of course, is one of the greatest bass players of all time, and Howard is one of the greatest vocalists of all time from the group Shalimar, and of course, all of his solo work. I guess Howard was Stanley's voice. He probably had some songs in his head. He said, I wish I could sing like Howard Hewitt. And the two of them got together. And not only did that song, Heaven Sent You, but this one too. Here's Stanley Clark and Howard Hewitt once again in Fantasy Love on Bedtime Stories. Well, yes. Enlightened, yes. I know what you meant. I know what you meant. All right, Troy. Mm-mm. Eating at lunch. Oh, okay. I forgot you on the night shift. I'm like, lunch. Okay. I guess it would be lunchtime if you work third shift, right? Okay. I know, right? There you go. Mm-mm. I know Troy's got jokes every night. Yes. That's all he does is jokes. Why is my phone still on Facebook? I thought I logged off. I guess I didn't. Glad I got more money than jokes. Children, please. Sweeter than sweet. Children, play nicely, okay? Guess not. Silence. I kill you. Mm. Yes, be nice. Play nicely in the sandbox. Maybe you could buy some of his jokes. Oh, no. Covering my Brandon Johnson sign. There we go. I think I'll think of one that can fit into your $10 budget and join the rest of the other nine jokes you know. Troy, 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 I tell you. Troy, Troy, Troy. Gene Carn, who I sang with once. Told you he's funny, isn't he? He's funny. You're a funny guy. The late great Grover Washington, Gene Carn, closer than close, right here on Bedtime Stories, just ahead of foreplay with Smokey and the Miracles. You must be loved. John Caldwell, what's going on, sir? Be loved. You must be loved. Smokey the Miracles and You Must Be Loved, right here on Bedtime Stories. This is your peanut butter brother, Dr. Al Greer, just ahead of foreplay. Hello to LaTanya Lynn Garrett, aka Miss Hollywood. Also to John William Caldwell, or just plain old John Caldwell. Yeah. bass player extraordinaire, and of course, brother from another mother. Is your peanut butter brother, not that is. And like I said, we're just ahead of foreplay. But before we do that, like we used to say back in the day, we got to pay some bills. Mm-mm, mm-mm-mm-mm. Grubhub is a proud sponsor of Bedtime Stories here on WOSD Radio DB Chicago, WDLB Indianapolis and Chicago, as well as WRLNradio.com, your station for today's R&B hits and throwbacks. And you're about to hear a lot of throwbacks right now from this particular group. They hail from the East Coast, as a matter of fact. While going through the phone book, trying to find a record company to, I guess, hang their hat, they started out with the A's and ended up at A&M Records, which, of course, at that time was owned by Herb Alpert and his partner, Jerry Moss. That label, of course, was known for Janet Jackson, Gino Vanelli. He was on A&M, and a couple of other artists who were on A&M Records, which is one of the few independent labels. Well, most of their first songs came out on A&M, and of course, they went over to I think it was Warner Brothers, but they had that same sound, even though they started out with what seemed like 12 members, whittled down to the core members, which were the brothers in the group. The Lewis brothers, that is. Tonight, in Foreplay, we feature the music of Atlantic Star. This is Am I Dreaming? Somebody pinch me. I know that's right. Yes. I'm sorry, wrong song. It's your peanut butter brother, Dr. Al Greer, and this is Bedtime Stories. John Colwell. Kinda crazy inside. Atlantic Star. Yeah. And you. Mirage with you. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Whoa, whoa, whoa. you for a lifetime. You still do the Friday night at the pizza place. I haven't been there in a couple of months. They asked me, or they gave me, a few weekends off because they had other DJs coming in there. So I felt like the writing was on the wall. Other DJs, I'm like, okay, just tell me what you want played that night. But they claimed that other events were going on there at the pizza place. So they told me March 18th to come back. Well, March 18th came and went. So plus I would have to take off a lot of times to do other functions. Um, and then I would send somebody else in my place. Well, the guy that I sent in my place to do an outside function that I should have done kind of sort of messed it up. So they kind of want some money back. So I kind of want to give them their money back, and I kind of don't want to work for them ever again. It's like I'm not in the business of giving money back to anyone, but if they're going to be that petty, I'll give them their money. Well, not all their money, but you know, and I'll never do business with them, their organization or anything. You know, I think that's really petty. You know, they said they weren't satisfied, and then I cut the music off early, and like, you know, but I just don't have time for pettiness. My mom always said, sometimes you just have to do that, to get your peace of mind. But it's like, I didn't get in the business to give money away. So, as a matter of fact, I even offered one of the people a ride home, and still they wanted X amount of money back. And, once again, they can have it because I know that I'm going to be blessed in other ways. I'm going to get it on the back end. So, you know. We'll never do business at Josephine's. That's never happening again. Burned you too, huh? Yep, they want to be back for Mother's Day. And I said, I'm booked. I'm booked. And it's like, I've known Mr. Love for years. I mean, for years, from back in the day of, just years when I was working at Radio Shack for years. And I didn't get paid till the next day. And John, when he did pay me, he gave me $100 for the whole day. No love lost at all. No. I mean, no. That's not how I do business. Yeah. I'm sure everyone else got paid that day. All the waitresses and waiters got paid that day. I'm sure they got their money whenever payday is. And, once again, Vic is, he's like a brother to me. And I think that might have a lot to do with it. I'm too close to him, you know. And, when you're too close to somebody, then they feel like you're family, And, he's definitely like, he acts exactly like my brother Christopher, you know. Those types of people. Yeah, okay. I hear you. But, you know, when you bring out all of that equipment, which is not a lot, but still, when you bring out equipment and everything else, I expect to get paid for what I'm worth. Sometimes it doesn't happen, and sometimes I make it up on the back end. Once again, these people from the party I did a couple of weeks ago, they have the money. They got the money. But I'm going to give them what they ask back, and don't ask me to come back. They could have said, well, we'll just deduct it from the next time we hire you. I'm like, I will never work for you guys ever again. Never, ever. Sorry, but that's not how I do business. If I couldn't be there, I sent someone in my place to at least start the party until I could get there. It's not like I left them high and dry with no DJ. They complained that the DJ didn't have one song, and that was My Guy by the Temptations. Okay, that's not my fault that he didn't have a repertoire close to mine. Unfortunately, all DJs don't have everything. But he got paid. He got paid very well for just setting up the equipment. So I was, when I saw the email, I was a little, taken back by it. But, like, okay. But, once again, the way I do business, aren't any refunds. Someone was there, we performed the service, and that was it. But, it's unfortunate that an organization such as that would be so petty. I'm not even going to mention the name of the organization because there are a few people that I'm sure are part of that organization or similar organizations. So I'm not going to, yeah. But I'm like, petty. When I sent them an invoice, I was very professional with them, very professional, and very lenient, So that was it. Very lenient. And, once again, the room wasn't cheap. So I'm sure they didn't ask for a refund from the place that they had the event at. So Didn't mean to start something out. I know, right? But I'm truly not happy with that organization, of which I will not be a member of, or maybe just not that chapter. Oops, did I say that? Yeah, I just thought it was, it was just really petty, you know. But like I always say, it's only money. No one has ever, I've never seen a Brinks truck ever follow anybody to the cemetery. So at the end of the week, they'll get their, well, not all their money back, you know. But it's sad that we can be petty with each other, if you know what I mean. You know, I think that's truly, you know, they were so excited to have me, but then after they did, then they pulled this crazy stuff. So, but it is what it is. But once again, I think it's petty, and I'm not gonna say who they are, but they're petty. You know, the guy brought his equipment. The equipment was professional. Everything. All they had to do was ask for whatever it was that they wanted, and I'm sure he would have provided it. If he didn't have a song, I'm sure he could have downloaded the song or whatever. So uh, they said they had another hour. Well, at no point did they say, keep going, play some more music. They said I shut it down. I didn't shut it down. It specified on the invoice that I gave them that it would shut down at a certain time. Now, I didn't know they had an extra hour. They never expressed that to me. And people were leaving. They were getting up leaving. So I'm like, I guess the party's over, right? So, so they had more excuses than a virgin on prom night. So it's like, okay, I'm done. I'm done with you guys. You will get your money back at the end of the night, or at the end of the week, rather. Like really? Okay. Won't happen again. For dear life, with Al Greer. He's back. Yep, you started something, Vic, but that's okay. Woo! Well, I can tell you've been wanting to vent for a long time about that. Yes, I have been wanting to vent about that, and I thought, you know, because when I saw the email that they sent me, I'm like, really? You know, and the first words out of my mouth were, "You back?" Anyway. Mm-mm-mm-mm. I love that song. Secret Lovers. Wrapping up foreplay here on Bedtime Stories with your peanut butter brother, Dr. Al Greer, with Atlantic Star. They're still touring to this day with new members. And of course, Wayne Lewis and his brother Jonathan are still members of the group. They are, of course, I guess you could say the last men standing. One of the other brothers decided he was going to go in a different direction, and he's now ordained minister. And that was the cute one. It sang all the beautiful songs, Secret Lovers, and If Your Heart Isn't in It, the cute one, with the light eyes and the perfectly coiffed Jerry curl. Yeah, that's the one. Yeah. Anyway, it's your peanut butter brother, Dr. Al Greer. This is Bedtime Stories, the show designed with the lovers in mind, where we put you to bed, but never to sleep with the greatest love songs of all time. Here's Love Unlimited, and I Belong to You. When you provide a service for people, you know, especially your own people, and they don't appreciate you, it's like, I should have just told them I couldn't do it. But the lady basically said, look, hey, we want you. We don't care how long it takes you to get here, that whole thing, And I thought, okay. But once again, I didn't want to leave them high and dry. So I said, well, let me go ahead and find somebody to start it for me so I can get there and, do my thing. But these people, woo! Anyway, let me get off because, I will start to get a little ticked off by it. But and all the time I get ragged on by people who say, you shouldn't say that. You shouldn't say that. I shouldn't say what? I shouldn't say when I DJ for the non-black people that they give me what I'm worth. I ask for $750, $1,500, and they were like, okay, can we send it now so we don't have to worry about it afterwards? What I get is, man, that's kind of steep. Cheap DJs aren't good, and good DJs aren't cheap. Now, if you want somebody like, slamming Smitty or something like that you think you're gonna get for $100, and he's gonna bring out his closing play, then you go right ahead. But I'm not that guy. And I hate to say it, but I'm gonna say it out loud. And Troy, feel free to throw in any joke you want. But I have one price for us, meaning the brothers and the sisters. And then I have another price for the other side of my family, which is, of course, Caucasian. So, yeah. So I just think it's a travesty. They'll pay, $2,500, $3,000 for a place to have their event. I know, right? Yeah. Ooh, yeah. they'll pay that amount of money for an event hall place, but they want to give the DJ $150, and we got to roll out all kinds of equipment and subwoofers, and it's a big room and speakers to the ceiling, and they want to give you $150. So you can say what you want to say, Troy, but I have one price for black folks and one price for white folks. There, I said it, and I do. And it's unfortunate that I can't just charge one price for everyone, and that they pay it. You know, I say $500 and they go running. I'm like, how much do you think DJs make these days? And that's just it. They have no idea. You know, they think that it's a hobby of mine. No, it stopped being a hobby when I was a kid. You know, that whole hobby stuff that ended. What started out as a hobby became a career, and I get paid for that career. You should be charging white people less since we invented the music you're playing. No, I should be charging them more for the music that they stole from us. That's what I should be doing. Yeah. Yep. Hell, the first version of Twist and Shout was done by the Isley Brothers, not the Beatles. Tutti Frutti was done by Little Richard, not Pat Boone, and so on and so forth. They've been taking our money for our music for years, and that's just it. There was this guy, I think his name was Wayne Cochran. He tried to outdo James Brown. Instead of having two drummers, he had four drummers and had a white pompadour instead of the black pompadour that James had. So let's let's get this white. All right. I'm white and I can't name one Pat Boone song. That's funny. Tutti Frutti, all Rudy, a rum baba do bum, but got a girl. Name it. You're like, oh, Pat, please leave it alone. They said that Jackie Wilson was the black Elvis. I'm like, huh? What? Huh? Nope. There is no way that it could have been like that. There was a resemblance, yeah, because they both like, with that lip, but that's where the resemblance ended, and that was just it. Elvis could get away with it because he was Caucasian. He didn't write Heartbreak Hotel. He didn't write any of those. Hound Dog, Big Mama Thornton wrote that. Did she get credit for it? No. So on and so forth. But at that time, they were looking for good-looking singers. They didn't want no ugly singers, But that's what happened. Our music was favored across the pond. Average White Band, the Beatles. What was that guy that redid Old Girl? But they've been, remaking our music for years. I mean, look at Hall and Oates. You know, they made a whole career out of playing black music, a whole career, and still making money. You know, so it's the other way around. You know, Chuck Berry is the king of rock and roll. Little Richard is the other king of rock and roll, not Elvis, not Pat Boone, none of those people. I guess you could say he was a one-hit wonder. Lilo Thomas, produced by the same people who produced Freddie Jackson's music. Paul Lawrence Jones, that is, of course, I Want to Make Love from Lilo Thomas, right here on Bedtime Stories. The show designed with the lovers in mind, where we put you to bed but never to sleep with the greatest love songs of all time. It's your peanut butter brother, Dr. Al Greer. Thank you so much for joining us as always. I really appreciate you guys. We were talking about people who have made a career out of doing, you know, our music. I was just mentioning that Paul Young, and I couldn't think of his name. Paul Young redid "Old Girl," you know, white guy, and you know, a lot of acts made a whole lifetime, a whole living off of playing African American music. They didn't know what to do with Gino Vanelli, although he made several appearances on Soul Train, you know, with that taco meat on his chest and that curly perm. You know, they didn't know what to do with him. It's like, okay, he sounds kind of soulful there. He's on A&M Records. All right, okay. You know, Hall and Oates made a whole career. Average White Band, you know, made a career off of our music. Wayne Cochran, when James Brown had two drummers, he had four drummers and a eight-man horn section. He tried to trump James Brown. I was like, good Lord, that's a lot of noise. And this guy right here, Kenny Loggins, his first big hit was what? With Jim Messina, and that was Pathway to Glory. After that, you know, he had to do black music and sound like Michael Jackson, you know. This is it. I'm just saying. Here's Kenny Loggins, Too Early for the Sun. Gino even said himself that his music comes from the black culture. Of course it does. Yep, of course it does. You know, and I am I'm not hating on them. I'm really not. You know, they heard something in our music and they decided, you know, to redo it. Bobby Womack and his brothers did a song called "It's Over Now." Well, once the Rolling Stones got a hold of it, it became a hit. So, but that's just it, you know. Not saying that our music is the best, but you know, I'm just saying, Mahalia Jackson was the queen of gospel. Is there a white queen of gospel? I think not. Whitney Houston was the pop princess. Now it's Taylor Swift. She's the pop princess. Sam Cooke pushed Bobby to write songs for others. Yeah, he did, you know. Oh, I used to love you, but it's all over now. And then the Rolling Stones got a hold of it, and they, like I said, had a hit off of it. So all the white folks had to do was just wait for us to record a song so that they could redo it. I'm just saying, you know, twist and shout, down, shake it up, baby, twist and shout was done by the Isley Brothers first. The Beatles even said that their favorite drummer was Benny Benjamin from the Funk Brothers. I'm just saying, who knew, right? But Sam was right to push Bobby to write songs for other people. He wrote I'm in Love. Aretha did it. Wilson Pickett did it. So even though he would sing songs with his brothers, he would write songs for other people, And those songs would get covered by black and white artists, But Bobby was one of the most prolific songwriters ever, but he gets no credit. He never gets any credit, But he was a great songwriter. And Bobby pushed Sam Cooke to rent a room from that weirdo Asian woman. Yeah. Okay. Even though it was a black woman that shot Sam Cooke. But anyway. But I understand. But I tell you, y'all must be talking about Womack. I know, right? But Bobby Womack was probably, one of the greatest songwriters in R&B music. First casualty in the East Coast, West Coast rap war. Yeah, he was. Yeah. Well, Sam had, excuse me, pardon me. Ken Wadlington, what's going on? Sam had the biggest funeral ever. They said people were standing outside. It was cold, and they were standing outside of AR Leaks to see Sam Cooke. They had two ceremonies for Sam. They had one here in Chicago and one in LA. Yeah. That's how big Sam was. Sam was one of the few people that owned his masters, and he would lease them through his company to RCA Records. Yep. But Bobby had a unique style and voice. Yes, he did. A few years ago, we used to say, he's the last of the original soul men, for real. Had he not been addicted to drugs, he would have probably still been around today, like Al Green. Al Green is the last of the original soul men. He, as a matter of fact, Al Green took his chops from Sam Cooke. You know, it was that was the reason that he got kicked out of the house in the first place, listening to Sam Cooke records. But there have been some great musicians that you know that have been in existence, not only ours, but there are a lot of other artists who are Caucasian who are, you know, unsung, which I'm glad they came up with that show Unsung. But it's been a lot of people that were not, you know, uh, not celebrated like they should have been, you know. But that's just me. You know, a lot of people who got accolades should not have gotten accolades. And others, you know, were sitting in I guess, waiting in the bullpen to get up there and pitch. But, you know, a lot of people. One of those people, and y'all will probably laugh really hard when I say this name. Jermaine Jackson. Jermaine is probably, they killed Sam because he controlled his masters and he was about to do some big things in the industry. No. I don't think it was a setup. Now, a lot of people think that was a setup, that he went to the motel with the girl and then they stole his clothes. And, you know, did they know he was going to run after the woman, run to the hotel office with no clothes on? Did we know that he was going to do that? Did they know that he was going to do that? And the answer is no. We will never know what exactly transpired on that night at the La Hacienda Hotel. Do we really know what happened that night? No, because the lady that shot Sam Cooke committed suicide. You know, did they ever find the hoe he was with that stole his pants? No. And that's just it. That secret, you know, died with him. And that's it. You think it was a setup. I just don't believe that story. Why would a man in his position have to take a woman's humanity? Because Sam himself was promiscuous, as Jackie Wilson and a lot of other of our Black heroes, African American heroes. We looked up to them. We held them to a higher esteem. To everyone. He was a handsome man. He could have had anyone he wanted, and he did, and that was just it. You know, him and Jackie. You know, dare I say it? You know, him and Jackie were. I'll send you some information. Okay. But Jackie Wilson, they were both handsome men. Jackie was in I think he was coming from a concert or whatever, going, and a woman stabbed him with a pen. You know, just like they stabbed Martin Luther King Jr. And that's just it. You know, we look up to these people, but they were not without fault. They just weren't without fault. They just weren't. They were just like you and me, or the way I used to be. And that's just it. But a lot of, when you're in the public eye, and John will attest to this, you have fans, whether you know it or not. And fan is short for fanatic. Johnny Gill and my. Produced by Babyface and L.A. Reid. It's your peanut butter brother, Dr. Al Greer. This is Bedtime Stories, the show designed with the lovers in mind, where we put you to bed but never to sleep with the greatest love songs of all time. And of course, some interesting stories about some of your favorites from back in the day. Um, of course, we still to this day don't know exactly what happened to Sam Cooke the night that he was shot. The story was that he was in the hotel or the motel. Well, the unidentified woman, who was not his wife, and the young lady stole his clothes, and he ran after her. First place he ran to was the hotel office, where the young lady who was behind the desk thought that, I don't know what she thought. Did she recognize Sam Cooke? Was it a setup? Was she paid to take him out like that? I don't know. I don't know. Anyway, it's your peanut butter brother, Dr. Al Greer. We'll never know what happened. Here's Keith Washington and Kissing You on Bedtime Stories. Okay, let's see what Troy made up this time. Isn't it about time we did something to acknowledge the musical contributions of Marvin Gaye and Charlie Pride? I think Chicago is ready for a gay pride parade. Ha 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 ha! That's up there with that Elton John joke. You're getting better now. You're getting better. Sheila Forrest. Gay pride parade. Ha ha ha. That's a good one, Troy. That was good. Sorry you're late. Well, you have to make it up to me then. Anyway. Mm-mm. Through the night. Just got a chance to say, hey. So what were you doing? What's more important than being on my Facebook Live? I'll make it up anytime, any place. No, you won't. Y'all tell me that all the time. Mm-mm. Mm-mm. I have been told that so many times throughout these years that I've been doing this show. I have I have been promised everything. You know, yeah, making sure my chicken wings with mild sauce get delivered. Oh, okay, cool. Yep, I've been promised so many things from women throughout these years, and nothing has ever materialized. So, you know, their their excuse was, "Oh, well, you're aren't you still married?" I'm like, hmm, maybe, maybe not. Mm-mm. See, my biggest mistake was to let people too close to me and into my business, and I've turned into Al Pacino in The Godfather. It's like, I'll let you ask me one time. I'll let you ask about my business this one time. It's like, are you the Godfather? Mm-mm, I don't know what you're talking about. I love that. Capricorn people usually have trust issues. Yeah. I know what you mean about those promises that were made and never materialized. Hmm. Yep. All the time. Where did you order from? We talking about food here? Is that what we talking about? Okay. Y'all ain't hear a word I say. Y'all talking about J&J fish and chicken and all that stuff. Alrighty then. Y'all done just put me down for some J&J fish and chicken. If you play your cards right. If you play your cards. The Heralds on 103rd and Halsted have been treating me right lately. Really? Hmm. Okay. Go on with your bad self. Mm. Ooh, baby. They've been treating me right. I know that's right. And when you deal with a certain restaurant, you just kind of stay with them, right? Like my Baba's over here on 63rd and Morgan. I stick with them because, yep, love their chicken Phillies. They are great. Just wanna love ya. One of the things gonna be alright. Cause right. No Babas, really? I just had to let that play out. We would play that song at the end of the night, right? And then the ugly lights would come on. You'd be like, you mean I've been dancing with this man for 6 minutes? Anyway, that's going to do it for me, Al Greer. Thank you so much. Sheila Forrest, Ken Watlington, John Caldwell, um, just everybody. Slick Vic Jackson, I appreciate you. DJ Carl Dobbins, even you, Troy, I appreciate you. Did I forget anybody? Sheila Forrest, right? Okay, all right, I got everybody. Thank you so much, Ronnie from earlier, and my girl in Minnesota, or she calls it Minnesota, and that, of course, is Roberta Rankin. Till next time, blue skies, green, yeah, ugly lights, yeah. Lights come on at the end of the night, and you're like, oh my God. I've been dancing with this man all night. Till next time, blue skies, green lights, and peace. Good night, Miss Delicious. And that's it. And we're done. All right. Jay Lewis, thank you so much, sir. Appreciate you all. Come early next time, Jay. All right, guys. Have a great night or morning, whichever.